Hey guys, in today's profile review, we're going to be breaking down a Garen One Trick who is currently silver looking to get to top lane. And what I'm going to be breaking down is basically what the biggest things gold and below Garen top lane players or mains struggle with when trying to climb and how to fix them. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be breaking all that down. Now, before we get into the profile view, if you're interested in getting your own profile view just like this for free, check out the link in the YouTube description below, as well as if you're interested in the paid coaching service I talk about towards the end of this video, please also check out the links in the YouTube section below. Let's get into the video. Hey Matthew, my name is Dylan from lolcoach.academy, and I'll be doing the profile review of your account today, so thank you for signing up. Sorry it's taken me a little while to get your account, but let's get into it. So currently you are a Silver 4 top lane main, finished Silver 4 last season, and your goal is to get to low plat. So firstly, very achievable with your current playstyle champion pool. Yes, you can get to plat. What this profile view is really going to be looking at is your strategy and looking at things that you can optimize. So you're on the right track in the long and short of it. Like, you're playing a good role. Again, doesn't matter what role you play, you can climb with any role. Doesn't matter what champion you want to play, you can climb with any champion. So the good thing is you've got a role that you like, which is top lane, a champion pool that you like, which is One Trick and Garen, and now all we got to do is optimize that. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm basically going to go through that. So I'm going to really be looking at your laning phase, the two different play styles you can go with Garen, and your build path, because there's a couple of changes in the recent patch that are going to affect your Garen playstyle. Now, the first thing is I can see in your last 60 games that you have a 53% win rate, which is really good. In your last 20, however, it has gotten a bit lower. So I wouldn't really put this down to anything too much in your control. I can see it's a 40% win rate in your last 20. I wouldn't be worried too much about this in terms of like, are you playing worse? Did something all of a sudden shift? Because there's been no direct changes to Garen in the last 20 games that you've played, as well as, people's skill level doesn't all of a sudden dip from 53% to 40%. So these recent games are probably a combination of maybe just not playing as consistently as you normally do, a combination of bad matchmaking, maybe just some unlucky games. So don't look too into your recent match history. Don't feel like you need to stop playing Garen, because he is still strong. And what we're going to be doing is talking a little bit more about your strengths and the weaknesses that you can improve on him. So the first thing I want to look at is your laning phase on Garen. It is really, really good. Now, I can see here at 15 minutes, you average about 600 gold ahead, which basically means you're averaging about 2 kills ahead of your laning opponent at 15 minutes. This is a really good sign because Garen needs to have a strong laning phase in order to be impactful in the mid and late game. So, really good. And the fact that you're able to translate that early game victory into a win 55% of the time is pretty good. Generally, when I see a goal difference at 15 of plus 600, I do expect a win rate of around 60 to 65%, but I'll be talking a little bit more about that and how you're currently playing and how we can probably bump this current win rate up of 55% to really that real golden zone of 60%. But remember, we don't have to get it there. We don't have to get to 60% win rate. All we have to do is ensure that your overall win rate, which is that stat right here on your op.gg, over all your games in a season is at least 55% or higher, because that is the golden number that Silver 4 players need to climb to Platinum. And then all it is a matter of how many games can you play in a season. There's 170 days left in this season, give or take, and looks like you've almost played already 100. So your win rate is a little bit of an issue right now. We need to make sure that doesn't dip below 55%. So we need to get that up a little higher. And your volume of games is good. So basically, you've got the win rate potential, and you've got the volume of games required to get to Platinum, which is a really good sign. And you've also got your laning phase down pack, which is arguably the biggest issue or biggest problem area that Silver players, particularly top laners, particularly Garen players, struggle with. So the next thing I want to talk about is your playstyle, because Garen right now has two playstyles, split push or group, or you can kind of go hybrid. And so what I'm going to be talking about is really those three playstyles: split pushing, grouping, and going hybrid. Now, when I see something like this, when you've got a plus 600 goal difference at 15, what I want to be seeing more of you do is roaming early. Now, this doesn't mean you still can't be a split push god, because I can see in your recent match history, you've got some hull breaker Garen, and I think you like to play that kind of split push play style for Garen, and it's working for you. Again, a 55% win rate. But what I want to see, particularly if you feel like your bot lane or your mid lane is getting a little far behind, what I want you to see you do is either at the 15-minute mark, when you kill the first turret, or you've just got a chance, start looking at roaming, leaving top lane, whether you push in the wave and instead of going for the turret, you go look to help your mid lane because they're pushed in. Or when you recall and you've got a big advantage on top lane and you can afford to lose one wave, go for a roam and a kill or a gank in the bot lane. And if you can even time it with your jungler, or you can even time a roam to get dragons or to help your team secure dragons, you can afford right now to be sacrificing a little bit of your lane advantage because you get so far ahead anyway in order to make sure your bot lane, your mid lane, or your jungler isn't inting. Because I know that's probably one of the biggest problems you have. You're like, I'm winning lane. Like every single game, I'm winning lane, but I'm only winning 55% of my games. So that's a really good tip that I tell all top laners to do. And you're not going to get it perfect the first time, but the idea is to keep practicing. Whenever you've got a lead, an advantage, there comes a point where you should stop pressing your advantage in top lane and you should look for a little roam to try and get someone else ahead, because it's very hard for Garen to 1v9 a game. And so the idea of this theory is once you've got yourself ahead, now look to help someone else and try and get them ahead so you're not the only win condition, or you're not the only one who has, you don't have to be the one 1v9ing. Instead, you may be able to get one or two teammates also ahead, and then the game becomes much easier to win. Now, again, looking at that playstyle of when I should split push, when I should group, when I should do a combination of both. Again, if you're looking for a split push playstyle, that's how I'd recommend looking to integrate a bit more of a team fight orientated approach, or to, group a bit more, is when you're ahead in your top lane, start to look for key moments in the game. Like if you see 3 enemies and 3 allies grouped in mid lane and you're deciding to split push, maybe go and decide, okay, I'm not going to split push this time. I'm actually going to group and see what happens when I join this team fight. And just almost you have to hypothetically play out these scenarios and just commit to the call that you wouldn't usually do and get comfortable with it. And then you can analyze, okay, in this instance, it would have been better for me to split push, and now you understand why. Because right now, I feel like your split push playstyle is all about, I'm just going to split push no matter what. When really, we should be looking at, I'm going to split push because of this. I'm going to group because of this. And the only way to start understanding the why of when you should split push and the why of when you should group and team fight and help your team is by experimenting, getting in an actual game and playing out the scenario that you wouldn't normally do. And then you can understand, I should have split pushed because of this. Or I actually did group. I made the right choice and it was because of this. And that's going to be a really big it's going to be a really big skill lesson for you to learn. I forgot the word I was going to say there. So that's really important. The other things I want to point out is your KDA is really good, your CS per minute is really good. So your mastery of your champion isn't the issue that you aren't climbing. So Garen is never going to be the problem that you can't climb because you're clearly very good on him. You just need to be understanding how to convert your early game leads into mid-game, late-game victories. So that's the biggest one, is that playstyle. Understanding when to split push, when to group, and when to go for a hybrid of both, depending on, if the next Baron is the key moment in the game and you're deciding to split push, well, maybe you should actually go to the Baron and help them out, even if you do have Hull Breaker, or even if for the whole game you've been split pushing. Try the thing that you think is going to be more important and try the option that you don't usually go for, and that's when we learn a lot. Because right now, that's what you need to be doing at this kind of stage with your Garen. You've got high mastery on him, and this is what you really need to be looking at. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, or second last thing, is your kill participation, and this is why I think you have a very heavy split push style play style, and it's also why that win rate isn't at 55%, it's at 60%, because you just don't know when to split push or group, so you're almost always split pushing. And I can see that with the kill participation this low. Generally, if there was a Garen who was grouping more, I'd see generally a kill participation around 40 to 45%. So the fact that it's this low suggests that it's a split push playstyle. It's not bad, you just need to learn and understand which playstyle to go for in which situations. Now, last thing I want to talk about before we wrap up this profile view is your build path. So right now I can see you're still building the Mortal Reminder, and obviously with the new patch, Mortal Reminder has actually been changed, so it no longer grants that 7% movement speed, which was really one of the main reasons why Garen built it. So what I'd be recommending now is if you do need heal cut, still go your Executioners, but what I want to see instead of your Mortal Reminder is I want to see you starting to build Black Cleaver second, or you can even build Deadmans if you need to go more defensive. But I want to see the Stride Breaker into the Black Cleaver because it is a really good item. It doesn't give you the movement speed that you need or that you used to get from Mortal Reminder, but Mortal Reminder doesn't either. So what I want to see now is getting these other items that are just as good or better in certain ways, but a bit weaker in other ways. And again, when you have Phase Rush and Stride Breaker, the 7% movement speed on Mortal Reminder, the old Mortal Reminder, is a bit overkill anyway. Good Garens and Garens like yourself, you won't get affected by that reduction of 7%. You'll still be very good. And with Black Cleaver, by the time Phase Rush runs out, you'll have actually done more damage with the Black Cleaver than Mortal Reminder would have allowed you to do anyway. So it's just a better item overall. You're just going to have to get used to the playstyle. And so if you do need heal cut, what I would recommend is actually weighing up now Mortal Reminder versus Chempunk. So one, Executioner's Calling now gives 40% Grievous wounds. So a lot of the time, let's say you're versing a Zac top lane and you need heal cut or a Warwick. Build the Executioners early, just the 800 gold item, but sit on it and only finish it and upgrade it into Mortal Reminder or Chempunk Chainsword on your 5th or 6th item, because the healing reduction doesn't actually increase anymore. It stays at 40%, whether you've got the initial component or the full build. All you're getting when you do the full build is the extra components, but Garen is going to benefit much more with the new Mortal Reminder. He's going to benefit much more from going Deadman second, Black Cleaver, or even Death's Dance. But really, I want to see you going Stride Breaker, Black Cleaver, and then looking at Deadmans or Death's Dance, depending what you need. If you need a bit more movement speed, go Deadmans. If you need to be a bit more tanky and you're fighting a lot more, go Death's Dance, and that should be your build path. Now, I can see that you were interested in paid coaching, and something I would recommend for a player who's looking to go from silver to platinum is a monthly coaching plan. And basically what this is think of it like a personal trainer for the gym. We're trying to get you from point A to point B. For you, it's getting you from silver 4 to low platinum, which is your initial goal rank. And then obviously once we get you there, we can keep building you to a player to get to whatever rank you want to get to. Now, the beauty of a monthly ranked plan is basically I can follow you through your entire journey from silver 4 to silver 3 to silver 2 to silver 1 to gold 4 and eventually into platinum. And I can help you break down every single problem or problems you're facing each month until we build you from a silver 4 player into a silver 2 player, into a gold 4 player. And the idea is to not think about how we can go from silver 4 to plat in a month. It's no, how can we slowly change you month by month, focusing on the biggest issues that are currently holding you back in your current rank and build you into a platinum player. So if you're interested in learning more about that, Matthew, please, once you've watched this, message me on Discord and you can book a free one-on-one call with me where we'll get on Discord live and I'll talk you through exactly what that plan would look like for you and whether it's right for you and, how we can personalize it to suit your needs. That is a paid coaching service, but I've helped dozens of silver players now climb to platinum and beyond, even into diamond, with that strategy. So I know it works. It's only if you're serious about climbing, whether you want it or not. Overall, mate, your Garen is never going to be the issue that you can't climb. It's just how you as an individual play Garen, what your mindset is, and how consistent you are with your gameplay on him. So the champion himself is very objective. He's good. You can climb to platinum with him. You can climb to diamond and beyond with him. The champion's never going to be the issue. It's just all about how you play them and how consistent you are on about them. So I hope you enjoy this profile view. Please, once you've watched this, reach out to me and good luck on the Rift.